I love this username. It's from the Bionic Pickle. Hey, John. I've been seeing news about a lot of upcoming fantasy series that people are saying could be the next Game of Thrones. This includes Witcher, Lord of the Rings show, Wheel of Time, Watchmen, and some others. Of the 4 shows I just listed, which one do you think has a chance at being the next Game of Thrones?
Ooh, I mean, that has been an almost ad nauseum thing we've been hearing from the industry. Whenever anybody's talking about the new show, whatever the new show is they're hoping it'll be the next Game of Thrones. So-and-so is making a new series. They're hoping it'll be the next Game of Thrones. Disney or Disney Plus is creating a series. They're hoping it'll be the next Game of Thrones. HBO is making a new series. They're hoping it'll be the next Game of Thrones. Netflix is making a new series. They're hoping it'll be their Game of Thrones. You know, on and on and on. That's all. Now, you bring up a great list. You bring up an absolutely great list. And I think all of these shows show a lot of upside potential. I think they all show a lot of upside potential, very much. But I'm going to tell you which one I think has the best potential. It may fall on its face, just like all of them could. And they all have potential to be that next Game of Thrones. But I think the one that has the most potential, and I don't think it's going to surprise a lot of people, is going back to Middle-earth, my friends. And there's a couple of reasons for that. It's not just because, oh, John, you just love Lord of the Rings. No, I do. I do. Yes, I do. But it's more than that. When you really sit down and look at it, look at the legacy that the Lord of the Rings already has in the medium. People love Lord of the Rings. It already carries a huge, not only does it have one of the most faithful, loyal, and large book following in history, the movies become some of the most celebrated films in history. By the way, one of only 2 trilogies to be all 3 films in its series to be nominated for Best Picture. Little
Really?
bit, yes, it is one of only 2 trilogies where all 3 films were nominated for Best Picture. One of them won. Of course, Lord of the Rings Return of the King won and won all the awards that year. Little trivia, do you know what the other franchise in where every single film in it got nominated for Best Picture?
A trilogy? No.
Godfather.
Oh.
So that's some pretty good company to keep.
Yeah.
Godfather 1 and 2 were nominated and won Best Picture. Godfather 3 was nominated for Best Picture. Lord of the Rings, all 3 nominated for Best Picture. Third one won. Only 2 trilogies ever where all 3 were nominated for Best Picture. But it goes beyond that as well. Recently, Amazon put out this little behind the scenes. Here are the creators behind our upcoming Amazon series. And it was a who's who of talent from showrunners and writers and producers and designers. One of the original Lord of the Rings designers they've gone on to be the concept designer for this as well. It was just mind-boggling good. On top of that, Amazon is going all in on this series. They are spending ridiculous amounts of money on this series. Now, money doesn't automatically equal quality. But when you hear the phrase, put your money where your mouth is, Amazon is putting their money where their mouth is. They're going all in on this show. They are sparing no expense. This is going to be the most expensive television series in history. It shows their commitment to it. They've got great talented people behind the scenes. You've got a pre-existing fan base. You've got an incredible world of lore and mythology to draw from. There are a lot of upsides to a lot of these other shows as well. And maybe it'll be one of the other shows that becomes the next big pop cultural phenomenon, aka the next Game of Thrones. But right now, I'm seeing the most likely candidate being that Lord of the Rings show. Chris, when you look at that list, which ones stand out to you as maybe having the ones to have real potential be that next big the show?
I mean, because when we talk about what's the next Game of Thrones, it's what's going to be the water cooler show.
Yeah.
What is everyone going to be talking about? And while I think Lord of the Rings is much more accessible now because of the films, because of everyone seeing those, my dog is named Gimli, son of Gloin.
That's right. I forgot about that.
And I have so many people who say, oh, I've never seen that movie. And then my face just drops and I think, I don't want to be friends with you. You don't know that's a book either? Okay, cool. The one I think has the most potential, though, to kind of end up like a Game of Thrones situation is Wheel of Time. Another Amazon show that is incredibly ambitious. I'm not super familiar with the book series, but I know it's 15 books, so they have an embarrassment of riches when it comes to material. And, you know, I believe those books actually came to an end as well, so they'll have a starting and stopping point, unlike Game of Thrones. But it has Rosamund Pike as one of the leads.
Who's amazing.
And oh, she's incredible. She's so good. And then everyone else is relatively unknown. much like Game of Thrones. So could we see this kind of magical Harry Potter-esque world with all these unknown actors really, really take stage and have people talking about new talents, the same way we all lost our minds over, Jason Momoa and Emilia Clarke, who we'd never really seen in anything before. I think that one could sweep. Watchmen, I think, is a little too political for everyone to be involved with. And also, it's deferring from the source material. So
the thing about the Wheel in Time stuff is that it also seems a little bit inaccessible, like as a subject matter. That's why I'm not going with that one myself, because I feel like just the subject matter is a little bit inaccessible for a lot of audiences, whereas Game of Thrones kind of made it in such a way that it was, while deep and great politics and drama, it was very digestible. They presented it in a way that was very digestible, and I wonder if they're going to be able to crack the code on that show. We'll have to wait and see. What do you guys think about that? What out of all these great listed shows do you think has the most potential? Remember, it could be any one of them, and all of them could absolutely suck. But which one do you think might have that potential? It's funny. Out of all the potential next Game of Thrones shows, the one that we never mentioned was the actual next Game of Thrones show, which they have that prequel series coming out. But anyway, which one do you think has the best potential right now? Jump down to the comments section below and let us know your thoughts.